All right, you are now watching Drew Boy Sports Show. I'm your host, Kyng Ralph, here with the homie Marv. What's popping with you, bro? How we doing?
Good, man. Maintaining. Can't complain. How you?
Doing good, doing good. Blessed and highly favored. But
What's that?
before we get the show rolling, up and rolling, if you want to book any podcasts like what you're watching, music videos, photo shoots, call the number on the bottom of the screen, 707 Fit Boxer. Make sure you go and you like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff on our main socials. Juke Sports Show at Juke Sports Show on Instagram, the He Say She Say podcast on Facebook, at Juke Media on YouTube. All of my socials are at KYNGRALPH, at an underscore for Twitter. And we got some playoff football to get into. Texans go down to the Ravens in dominating fashion. Lamar Jackson, 4 touchdowns. Didn't have a crazy game through the air, but as far as a total offensive game, he was dominant. Defense was dominant. Texans didn't even make it to the red zone. Were you surprised by this, by how much the Texans lost and how bad the Texans lost? Are you there? Are you there, bro? Not not sure what's going on with Marv, but I'm surprised at what happened. And the fashion in which the Texans were dominated. Them not getting to the red zone was definitely an eye opener after the way that they played against the Cleveland Browns, who was another top 2 defense. I believe it was Ravens, Browns, and Chiefs as far as the top 3 defenses in the NFL. So the way that CJ looked against them, I was very surprised given the way that he looked all season. So with the Ravens, I feel like on the offensive end, they did about what I thought they would do. Control the clock, run the ball, make timely plays when it really mattered, and keep the chains moving. We all good, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. I had a little connection problems, but we all right now.
I bet. Finishing up the topic with the Texans, are you surprised at how bad they lost?
Yes and no. Well, I'll go ahead and lean toward yes. I expected them to lose, not by this much, but then again, it was a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. So the fact that I wouldn't say the moment got out of their hands. It's just they face a superior team. You know what I mean? And they haven't really been in that situation all year as far as having to come back in that fashion, and having to put it all on CJ Stroud without having a balance as well. So that's what it comes down to when you got to make a comeback. It's just it's the quarterback show. You know what I mean? So that's what it came down to. Outside of that, yeah, I kind of expected Lamar and them to do their thing. They are the most complete team. They do play the best zone defense in the league. So I kind of saw that coming. That means you got to hold the ball. You got to think more. You got to make more reads. You know what I mean? So I kind of, saw that coming, but I thought it'd be a little bit closer game. So, yeah.
Facts. Me too, 100%. I definitely thought it'd be a closer game. I thought it'd be like a Ravens show that they're the better team, but I didn't expect them to get blown out like that. I definitely had it within like 10 points.
Right.
Next up, Bucks lose to the Lions. In the end, the Lions were a little bit too much. What were your thoughts on this game?
I feel like it was like eight plays that the Bucks needed to make in order to um, take the lead or to tie and take the lead, and they just couldn't make those plays. Not to go into our topic that we have down the road, but none of that was the fault of Baker Mayfield. I feel.
Right. Right.
Everybody, I mean, people are the film is subjective, I mean, even though it's the same play, we all can watch the same play and come away from, five different things of what could have happened and what should have went right. In my eyes, it was not Baker Mayfield's fault. Once he did catch a rhythm, midway, early second, midway through the second, he was money from then on. Didn't make every single pass, no, but then he
Right.
didn't. He didn't look scared. He didn't play scared. He, what I mean, he took care of the ball. He played.
Right.
He played out what I would say elite level quarterback. Now, whether that's managing the ball, whether that's making plays, whatever the case, it takes elite levels. What I mean, in the playoffs, and I think he did that.
100%, man. I agree with you, man. Not to go into the topic later. But I agree 100%. I think that all in all, the Lions were just a better team.
Yep.
And I think the game showed it. The emergence of C.J. Gardner, getting him back has played dividends for them. How we finally are getting to see Amon-Ra St. Brown in this on this big stage, and how the versatile weapon that he is. And he really does get that team going to the point where he's someone that Jared Goff can depend on, regardless if the run game is working or not. And I think that is what's going to end up having where the 49ers could struggle with this offense. I think that the Lions can duplicate what the Packers were doing to the 49ers.
Especially if the Niners don't have Debo.
Mm-hmm.
I would throw him out there just to be a decoy, just so you have to worry about him and you have to commit to certain formations.
Right.
I would throw him out there just for the sake of that, and to throw him, whether he gets yards or not, just throw him the ball or target him a couple times, even throw it over his head if he can't really go. Just throw it over his head. You know what I mean? Make him think that you're going to go to him, because without Debo, without the threat of Debo, and with Amon-Ra on the other side, is getting to the point where Jared Goff can be like, well, he's down there somewhere.
Oh God!
So it's like you got to do something.
100%. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game, and we'll talk about that one in a later topic as far as their matchup with the 49ers. But we call that a segue. With the 49ers beating the Packers, 24-21. This was a close game. The Packers very well could have came away with a victory on this one, or at least an opportunity for them to get into overtime. I don't know what Jordan Love was thinking on that crossbody late throw across the field, but in the end, Greenlaw comes up with a pick. Warner would have been there to pick it if he didn't get to it. And 49ers come out with a 3-point victory. What were your thoughts?
I don't know whether it was in the headset or the rhythm of the play call. Maybe they told him something. Maybe the team gave him the confidence. But it came down to the fact he felt he had to make the play rather than let the play be made and let the game come to him. And then on top of that, it looked like once he caught that read, he'd never let it go.
Right.
Once he saw it, so he either decided pre snap, that's his read, that's where he's going, or that was who the play was designed for, and once he caught that read, he never let it go. With those two combinations, I feel like it kind of hindered him and didn't allow him to play. And a lot of that is the heat of the moment too. So I feel like a lot of that compiled up, and he didn't play loose and calm like we've been seeing him do all season.
100%, 100%. Because they were playing well, man. He was moving the ball down the field. He didn't look scared. It was like I had full confidence that he was gonna bring them down, take them down the field, and at least score a field goal. And it was just like, I'm not even a Packers fan. I'm just watching football, and I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, bro, the game that you had, how well you were playing, moving the ball down the field, y'all were running the football too. It just this was definitely one of those games where where there's fights where you say like, oh, this person controlled the fight, and it was like the Packers controlled the game, and then it was just a couple big plays.
They got
Christian
away from him.
McCaffrey, what was he ran off a big chunk 40, 50 yarder. Then Brock Purdy takes them down the field on the following drive, and then now you're down where you were up by a touchdown going into the fourth quarter. Now you're down by 3, and now you got to go make a play.
And even
And
if you're down by 3, like just the fact that you're down, I don't care what anybody says. You would like to, and even the most hardcore coaches, they'll tell you like the game plan is X, Y, and Z. But it changes when you're
right,
down and you realize you have to make a comeback. It changes the way you play. You know what I mean? You call, because every play you call is that much more important, rather than, you know what I mean, oh well, they got to get it back and then they got to tie it up and then they got to get it back again and then take the lead. That's
right,
at least 2 possessions you have to make mistakes or get it right, make adjustments, rather than you're already down. Any mistake you make can compile that, and you can be down more. And that's basically what happened to them. And when you see the you notice, go, and if you watch, usually when someone gets down, it's usually midway through the third quarter after halftime. Watch the play calls that they make after half versus the calls they make before half, and that'll let you know if they're running and gunning, if they're feeling the same way, if something, you know what I mean, if their ego has altered a little bit. I feel like that's what happened in that game.
yeah, 100%. I feel like yeah, it was a really good called game. I think it was a really good played game. It's the execution in the fourth quarter is eventually what led to in a lot of football games. It's a lot of any sporting event. If how you execute when it really matters can win you the game or lose you the game. And I feel like he lost the Packers this game.
Yeah.
Sucks, but they have a lot to look forward to. We talked about it earlier in the year. Looks like they got their franchise quarterback. We'll see if
Hey,
he can.
they're 3 for 3. This is going to be the third decade in a row. If
Yeah,
everything pans out for Jordan Love, the Packers have found a quarterback. 3 for 3. Brett Favre,
you're right.
Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love. That's hard to match right there,
You're
man.
right. 100%. 100%. And speaking of hard to match, that man Josh Allen cannot match Patrick Mahomes. 0 for 3 in the playoffs. Everybody felt like, oh, Josh, this is going to be Josh's one after getting a victory with over them in the during the regular season. But when it really truly mattered, game on the line, the Buffalo Bills did not come to play. And this is one where I know I made the joke about Josh Allen, but a part of me is like, this ain't one where you can put it on him. And I know ultimately he's the quarterback, it's his fault, all this other stuff, but and the one field goal doesn't win or lose you the game. Fourth and what was it? 4th and 5. The fake punt is
It kind of
wild.
does, though.
The it the fake punt on 4th and 5 was wild. Um, I understand this is like we just talked about in the last segment. Like you can't go out there and play scared, but you can't be going out there doing dumb stuff. Like if it wasn't for McCole Hartman fumbling out the end zone, like they're down by 2 touchdowns and that field goal don't matter.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it sucks. I feel like Josh Allen played. He could have been a little bit more accurate with some
Really?
passes. Like when you look at his numbers, he had 15
I
incompletions.
felt like the ones that absolutely mattered, he was on the money.
Yeah, when it
The
mattered.
ones they had to
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
he was on the money. It was
yeah.
loudmouth Diggs in and the other boy, number 10, who just refused to catch that touchdown in the
Yeah,
end zone. He split the safeties, bro. You know how hard that is, that deep on the field on the cover 2 on bro, his arm is amazing. So I mean, and then there was another one when I think the dude like just didn't catch it. So it was like 3 different times where they had to have it, and he
He
put it on the money, bro.
It was one that I seen. It was a little high, but you still should catch that. You still got to catch that, but it was a little high because Buddy was butt naked open. Like
Hey, sometimes you get excited, you know what I mean?
he was like, "Oh, he opened. Oh, let me get bring
Right?
it
Yeah,
up." Then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's like it
but
just was a little high, but
if it's in within your catch radius, because people forget what the receiver's catch radius is. When you
yeah,
fully extend, that's your catch radius. So it's a little out here, it's a little high. No, we
yeah,
know because in practice every day you be snagging shit like that. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
within your catch radius. I don't want to hear it was. I feel like he played an elite level quarterback. The defense to some degree let him down, and of course the kicker. We've
yeah,
all seen that, you know what I mean. But that's
yeah.
Bills history, you know what I mean. If you know NFL history, that's just the Bills in a nutshell.
Wide right, wide. What they go wide right and then wide
Yeah,
left.
they're like Florida State, bro. It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it was all bad, bro. I felt for him. This is one of the ones I sat there and I watched it. He was just like fidgeting with his jersey, trying to
Yeah,
like, bro,
trying
I
to
don't really.
trying to
How do I?
sit with the idea that
Yeah,
I did everything I could, and this dude just squandered the game away.
yeah, yeah. That's definitely a tough one because it's
Yeah,
like
that's gonna sit with
in the
them
media,
for
you
at
don't want to
least.
be like he lost us the game, but in the locker room, you like my nigga, you got one job.
That's it. Hey, but I always say that about kickers. He was 9 for 9 up until that point.
Yeah.
He was due for a miss, bro. Like, come on. He
Hey,
should-
I hate when they be like, "Oh, within 30 yards, he's 9 for 9, or he finna miss this one." The moment you brought up he 9 for 9, oh yeah, it's a wrap. He is finna miss wide right too. Oh, terrible! Like, buddy, did you look at where the wind was blowing before you kicked that? I ain't no kicker, but shout out to my boy Destroying though. Somebody put him in the league. I feel like Destroy would have made that kick.
Baby, shit.
But next up, we got my power ranking, Kyng Ralph's NBA power rankings. Man, I was just sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, there's a part of me that kind of wants to change it, but nope, we rocking with it. So at 10, we got the Dallas Mavericks in at 24 and 19. I feel like when you look at the reason why I'm comfortable leaving them at 10 is where they are when you look at them as a unit. I feel like they are around arguably 8th to the 10th best basketball team in the NBA. And given that the Suns are on a 6-game winning streak, got everybody back healthy, and are playing just a little bit better basketball, even though the Mavericks beat them, I think that was like 2 weeks ago. But I think that was right when Bill had came back and before Luka got injured. But I think that how the way that Kyrie played when Luka was not there and the rest of the team reacted, I feel like if Luka can just come back and not take too much away from Kyrie and the other guys to where he's so ball dominant. Yes, he puts up numbers, but I feel like it's the same thing with like James Harden. At some point, is it winning back? We got to have the question of if it's winning basketball. Because yes, he's going to put up a triple double almost every night. But is it really affecting winning basketball? It's the question that really has to be had here. Which is like
It's hard to get that pass to these younger generations that numbers kinda are not everything. That's where
yes,
you like. That's when you're like, okay, yeah, the triple double is cool, but if you go and get a double double and handle the ball less, you win more.
yes,
But I gotta have my numbers. But go
yeah.
ahead.
That's 100%, bro. Because I was thinking about it with the Lamar thing. Like Lamar only threw for 160 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns, and the offense was clicking. And so it's like, all right,
I'll
like the
take the
numbers don't
efficiency.
tell you, but did you watch the game and how the game went? And that's the thing for me. Is like that's why, like with Luca, Luca's such a liability on defense that I don't care what you put up on the offensive end if you can't get stops or if your team can't get stops. The good thing now is that he has Lively protecting the rim. I'm trying to think. I don't think JaVale McGee is over there anymore. They had JaVale McGee last year, but Grant Williams, and they got a couple other defenders over there that's willing to put their bodies on the line and put their numbers on the line in order for the greater good of the team as far as on the defensive end of the ball. That I don't think that's why I say they're a better team now, but Luka himself has to come up off that route in order for the offense to really be flowing. And he's not finna come up off that route. It's just not finna happen. So then that's why I got them at 10. I got the Suns at 9, 25 and 18 coming off a 6-game winning streak currently. Everybody is balling on all cylinders. In the end, I just don't see them as a top 5 basketball team, even with the 3 monsters that they got over there. In the end, it's not going to be enough for me, in my personal opinion. I think offensively they do numbers, but on the defensive end, they're like bottom 20. And that's for me, that's just not championship basketball. I don't care how many points you put up. If you can't get stops, like I just got done saying, it's not gonna matter. And so Cavs on another winning streak, 26 and 15, 8-game winning streak right now. I think with them, the way that they play, it's gonna come down to the stops, like on the perimeter end though. Because I believe with Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, you got enough rim protection, but can Garland and Donovan just get to it on the defensive end? And that's the
They're
part.
not they're not committed enough on the defensive end.
Yeah, and it sucks because
You got to
they have the
want it when it
offensive
comes to
talent.
defense.
Yeah,
It's not just talent. You got to want to play defense. It's all effort, bro. It's
100%,
nothing cool, none of that. It's you gotta want it, bro. You gotta want to sit in that chair. And not too many cats want to sit in that chair these days.
100%. No, they do not. And so ultimately, that's why I think that's what gonna hold them back. I think that offensively they have the talent to go toe to toe with anybody, but on the defensive end, are you going to be able to go in a 7-game series and beat the Celtics or beat the Sixers? And for me, that's why I'm going to say I got the Bucks at 8. I mean the Cavs at 8, Bucks at 7, just cuz I think that Giannis is enough of a difference maker to where he makes them just the Bucks a better team. Now, I feel like they're a little bit better offensively, but they're a little bit worse defensively. But I think having Giannis alone, it can win you 2-3 games in a playoff series, depending on who you going up against, or who you match up with. And so that's why I think that the Bucks with Dame, if both of them get hot, you looking at 80, 90 points on any given night. And for another team to try to match that, that's the point where can that team put up the offensive output to be able to beat a Milwaukee Bucks team? And they just got rid of their coach, which is a little head scratching. It makes you like, what happened behind the scenes,
Shout out to Doc Rivers.
bruh? Hey, I was talking about it before. My mom was like, I don't want him to be the coach. Like, I was like, I'm actually kind of cool with it because like he's gonna be expected to do something with this team, so he ain't gonna make it. They're not gonna win nothing with him. But if it was a team of a bunch of just scrappy niggas, people that just don't expect him to do nothing, he gonna take that team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I feel like he'd do the same thing with this team. Um, I feel like he gonna bring a defensive guard in for certain situations, and we gonna have to get Dame off the court completely in certain stretches. You see what I'm saying? And I think Doc is the only coach that has enough cachet that the team and Dame would respect in that aspect to be like, yo, you see it and we see it, bro. Get your ass off the court. Like, you know what I mean? You're a liability on defense. You see what I'm saying? If you want to, you know what I mean, do what you, if it's Dame time and then call timeout and we'll make a sub, then that's what we got to do. And I feel like maybe the other coach didn't want to make that, you know what I mean? He was too hesitant on pulling the trigger. So they feel like, yo, you know what I mean? Not with that, you know, I mean, with that, amongst other things, you know what I mean? Let's just go ahead and make a change, you know, and then try to get a spark and see what we can do there. But like I said, shout out to Doc Rivers.
You think it's that bad that
Yeah,
Dame got to come off the court?
yeah, for sure. Because who can he guard? Outside of the point guard, which he can barely do that, who can he guard?
Dang, that's crazy. I don't know. I have to
But
watch.
that's this
I'd have to
generation's
watch.
player though.
I
That's
would.
just
I would have. I would have to watch more basketball.
Dame
Because
Lillard
I haven't felt that
gives
he's that
zero
bad.
to no effort on defense, bro. With all that athletic ability, he should at least be annoying people at the very least.
Yeah, because at least Steph gives effort. He get work, but he give effort.
I think he's perfected the art of looking. You know what I mean? You know how niggas look busy at work. I think that's what Steph be doing. that's that's just
I feel it. I mean I get it though because I think that like with Steph, I think Steph's got strong enough to where he not just getting ran through no more.
yeah. No, not like that. But
Yeah,
it's just like he picks his battles because we got to
yeah,
remember Steph is he might look like a baby face, but Steph is getting up there. So
yeah.
he picks his battles. If he's not trapping you on the lane to pick your pocket, or you know what I mean, something like that, something real crafty, he's not going to exert too much energy on our defensive end to do anything.
Because if you notice like when I know this was like 2 years ago though, but when the Celtics were playing them and they tried to go and like, oh, we gonna ISO Steph, it didn't work. They literally shot themselves out the game trying to ISO Steph. So I do feel like Steph has definitely got to the point where like he's definitely in a peak where he's at least annoying on defense, but he's not like a Luka liability on defense. But I haven't watched enough Bucks basketball for me to sit here and say like, oh, Dame should definitely come off the court.
He's
So
he's not as bad as what's my man in Atlanta? Neither one of them boys play defense, but
Trey,
yeah, he's not as bad. He's not as bad as him.
yeah,
But
Trey
it's
is
like,
pretty bad,
it's like,
and he little as hell.
dang, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you have a lot of athletic ability and you have all this pride.
yeah.
Yeah, come on, dog.
I'm
You know
gonna
what I
need you
mean?
to put
So
your pride on the line and play some goddamn defense, my boy. And so that's why I got the Bucks at 7. I just, regardless of how well they're playing right now, I just can't put the Clippers any higher than 6. I know NBA.com got them at 2, and that's why I'm happy I got my own platform. Because the way that they be just swinging from people's nuts, you didn't talk bad about this team, about how you feel like this ain't the team to take it to the championship. They need something else. Why did they make this trade? And then they win a few games, and then now you got them all the way as the number 2 team in the NBA power ranking. And I know that like some of it is like, oh, how are they playing now? But I can't ignore how you played in the past, and it just elevates you above people who've been playing good basketball all season. So for me, I got the Clippers at 6. They're 27-14, playing well. I think what were they like 7-3 over the last last 10 games. Top 5 in net offense and net rating, but they beat the Thunder. But before the Thunder, they like even with the Thunder when they're 2-3 against the top 3 teams in the West. And that's why I just can't put you that high up because you don't play well against the top teams. You beat who
so
you're supposed to beat.
so they're the Cowboys.
Pretty much, yeah, 100%. 100%. And so
Because everybody tried to say that. Nobody listened. You heard it here first. I'm telling you now that
I
they are
hate
the Cowboys.
I hate the whole idea that like, oh, the playoffs is different. It's like yes and no. There's a different level of intensity, but if you turn the football over in the regular season, you finna turn the football over in the playoffs. If
Yeah. So yeah, certain things are gonna translate, and other things
yes,
it's kind of like you made that up. But it's
yeah,
just like unless you like if you're like a 60-40 pass run and then in the playoffs you go 50-50, then I can see you turning the ball over less. But
right,
at the end of the day, if your quarterback feels like, I can fit it in there, he's gonna, bro. That's just the
yeah,
nature of the game, and he's gonna throw a pick or two. That's just that.
uh,
You just hope is early and not late, and it doesn't cost you the game. That's it.
exactly, exactly. And so I got the Nuggets at 5. They are top 10 in two of the three and top 12 in all of the net rating categories. They play at a middle of the pack pace with Jokic being their um, primary ball handler. I don't know why that word was why that phrase was eating me up, but he's their primary ball handler. So they play at like a middle of the pack pace, but net rating, I believe they're seventh in offense, 11th in defense, and sixth in the net rating altogether. 30 and 14 right now, playing good basketball, getting people back healthy, and we're getting to that point where the All-Star game is in a few weeks. So now we're gonna start getting to that point of like that stretch run. This is where teams are gonna pull away and really show who are the real contenders in the West. And someone I've been, not that I predicted this, but I definitely could have saw it coming. When you have the amount of picks that the Thunder had, the GM Sam Presti, what he was able to do throughout his career, and people he's been able to draft and how they panned out, while also being able to get good coaching, coach after coach. They've had high quality coaching in, and so I think with that team, the Thunder are. I feel like they can definitely make noise. I still feel like they're 1 or 2 years away, but Shea Gilgis Alexander is a top 3 player in the league, in my personal opinion. What he's able to do on the offensive end, defensive end, leadership, clutch moments, and then Chet Holmgren coming along. I know you're probably not gonna like this, but I picked him to win the Rookie of the Year at the beginning of the year, even though he ain't playing a second of basketball last year, so he's still up for it. And so I got the Thunder in at 4. They're they're about as good. They're about as good as the Nuggets and everything, but better on defense, and that's why I have the Nuggets at 5 and the Thunder in at 4. Next up, we got the 76ers. They're top 6 in all of the offensive rating, defensive rating, net rating, about 16 to 17 on the pace because not Jokic, but Joel Embiid got to touch the rock every time they come down the court. It's working for him. Joel Embiid is dominant. The ability to shoot inside, outside, back to the basket, face up, transition, free throws, while also being a rim protector on defense is definitely why I think that the 76ers, now their whole thing is going to be, can they stay healthy? And if they are healthy, is Joel Embiid going to show up? And so I got the Timberwolves in at 2. I wanted to put them in at 1, but going back and looking at the Celtics over the last 10 games, their record, and then the team as a whole, I got the Celtics in at 1, 34 and 10, top 5 in all of the rating categories I've been saying. And the T-Wolves are a little bit behind them, but their win-loss record isn't as good, so that's why I'm going to put the Celtics above. But I also do think that in the end, I think the Celtics will have their team is just better. When you have Tatum Brown, then you go Drew Holiday and Porzingis at 3 and 4 or 4 and 3, whichever order you put those guys in. Having those as your four best players, and then the rest of the team that they have is pretty well rounded, good coaching. I just don't see another team in the East being able to go up against that for a 7-game series as we speak. As like I said, as the March and April months, I'll watch a little bit more basketball now with NFL being over. So I'll really be able to tell you at that point who I got. But I got the Timberwolves at 2, Celtics at 1. So Celtics 1, T-Wolves 2, Sixers in 3, Thunder at 4, Nuggets at 5, Clippers at 6, Bucks at 7, Cavs at 8, Suns at 9, and Mavericks at 10. And I believe this is week 14, my week 14 NBA power ranking. How you feel about it?
I would have the Bucks a little higher, but other than that, I don't really have any complaints.
Yeah, it's just the way
with all my complaints about what they possibly would be on defense, I would still have them crazy enough at the 5.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it can't be any higher than the 5 because of everything that we stated. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's about it.
Facts. So next up, we got the championship games. I'm very much looking forward to this. This is outside of the NFC championship game. Going into the season, I would have expected the Eagles to be at this spot, but watching them play all year, they just never looked like the Eagles I thought that they would look like. And so I'm happy for Detroit being in this NFC championship game. Watching the Packers, what the Packers were able to do, I think that the Lions should be able to replicate all of that and be able to give this a good game. Aiden Hutchinson, what he's been able to do in these playoffs. CJ Gardner on the defense, on the back end, being able to play all over the field, wreaking havoc, causing turnovers. I do think that it's going to come down to how much pressure can they put on Brock and how many points can the Lions put up on that defense. Because these are moments why you trade up or you take Jahmyr Gibbs in that spot and instead of going on defense, because you're going to have to put up these points. Him and Montgomery are going to have to be able to control the clock, keep that 49ers offense off the field, especially if they can get a victory. Not got a victory, but get a lead in the game. And so in the NFC Championship game, we got the Lions and 49ers, like I talked about. But these are the reasons why I think that it's rough. As much as I'm going to go 49ers, I think that the ways that I said that the Lions can be in the game, make it a close one, control the clock, be able to put pressure on Brock Purdy, and in the games, he takes care of the football pretty well, but there are some games where he can get kind of loose with the football. And so I think that the Lions can make him get loose with the football, but it's just a matter of you're going to have to be able to put up points on the offensive end.
I feel like I'm going to take the Lions in this one. Detroit versus everybody. Detroit what? Stand up.
Detroit.
So, right. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Lions. And I'm going to tell you how they're going to win it. They're going to, instead of run to set up the pass, they're going to pass to set up the run. And when they get in the red zone, they're going to use those two running backs that you just stated to run through the red zone into the end zone. So kind of like a reverse of what you normally would get from them. It's the same game. They're staying true to their identity, but just in reverse fashion. You see what I'm saying? That way, you don't get too cute. You don't get too far from anything that you know. It's just in reverse. I feel like, and in most instances where they were passed, they're going to run, and vice versa. Um, I feel like if they can make the Niners somehow one dimensional, if they don't have Debo and put the whole game in Brock Purdy's lap, Lions are in the Super Bowl. Simple as that.
I could definitely see that.
Brock Purdy's
Especially,
not going to beat you with the entire game being in his lap. He needs all of those parts clicking, running together,
he
defense
needs the
and
super
special
friends.
teams included in order for. And can we give Cam Newton an apology? Because everybody he said was a game manager has proven to be a game manager, and the elites have been proven in the game carriers. Or I forget the term that he
Them
used,
game changers.
the game changers are changing the game and carrying the game just like he said. So let's chill out. Let's let the former players and the former MVPs speak because they know better than those who haven't touched the ball on any level at all. So let's not do that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with Detroit.
Detroit. I'm gonna go 49ers though. I think that as much stuff as I talk about Jared Goff, it's just I gotta ride with what I'll be talking my trash I'll be talking. So I'm gonna go 49ers. But the way that Jared Goff has been playing this year and the way he played in the last game, and I believe it was in the game against the who they play first? The Rams is the game. I saw him not have to lean on running the football in order to be able to move the ball down the field and put points on the board. And
Yeah.
so these playoffs, I've seen him do it, so I wouldn't be surprised, but I am going to go 49ers though.
Okay.
AFC Championship game, Chiefs versus Baltimore. This is a tough one for me because them cheating ass Chiefs, bro. Like the refs is gonna find a way to help them boys win. But I do think that the Ravens are just a complete football team. Defense, being able to run the ball, get after the quarterback, create turnovers. It's just gonna be. I think the matchup I'm very much looking forward to though is Kyle Hamilton versus Kelsey. And so I think if you can stop Kelsey, and one thing that the Ravens do really well is stop the run. I think that these are reasons why I'm going to side with Baltimore. But as a person that we play them twice a year, the Chiefs, they will be in 3rd and 20. You will see someone come off the edge, get grabbed up. He'll get to the quarterback somehow still, push the quarterback after he throws the ball, and they'll throw the rough in the passer flag and not that holding flag that should have been thrown too. And so them cheating ass Chiefs, I'm still gonna go with Baltimore though, but there's a part of me that expects them cheating ass Chiefs to be in it.
And I picked Baltimore in the 49ers to make it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But no Debo, no Chip in my eyes. And the way that things just fall in place for the Chiefs is almost magical.
100%, yo.
If I didn't want to call it something else, I'd call it magic. You know what I mean? Like, so it's I just don't want to see Taylor Swift anymore. Please, Baltimore, please, please. I just want to watch
100%,
football, bro. I just want to watch football. I don't care about Taylor Swift.
bro. It don't make no sense. As soon as the Chiefs score a touchdown, cameraman Taylor Swift.
Mm. It's like last year it was his wife.
Yeah.
Or no. Last
It was,
year
it was his brother.
it was Jackson Mahomes.
Yes, it was
And
his
the year
brother.
before that, it was Brittany Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm tired of the Chiefs and their antics and their. It's like WWE and the annoying manager. It's just like,
Oh
bro,
yeah.
does he have to be here? Like,
Right.
come on. Like, what is this
Yeah.
about? So yeah, let's go Baltimore. I'm picking the Chiefs, but let's go Baltimore.
I felt that. Yeah, man. I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm really excited. I believe both games are on Sunday instead of one game on Saturday, one game on Sunday. Um, I need to find a way to get out of work or be able to watch it while I'm at work because I gotta watch
Said, crash that ambulance into the building now.
it now. He's like, hey, buddy, we love to help, but our driving record is not looking too
He said, "You want me to make the
good.
sirens and do
Little
a
flashing
flashing lights and make a racket?"
No, drive that ambulance into the building now. And so instead of quick hitters, we got extra innings. My man Baker, we talked about it earlier. Baker Mayfield was balling all season. I'm happy for him. But should he be the starter next year?
What are the other options?
Yeah, because I feel like
Someone who didn't get you to the playoffs and win a game?
oh god. Because I feel like with how many games they won, you're not gonna get a high draft pick.
No.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a high draft pick. Who are you gonna be able to trade for that's gonna be a better option? And so Baker needs to stay. And I feel like he played good enough football.
How high did I forget? Where was Kyle Trask drafted?
Second round,
Second round?
second or third round.
Yeah, nah, it's Baker's job to lose. Unless they get somebody in free agency that just
Yeah,
wants to, you know what I mean, retire in Florida or something like that, which I don't see. There's not too many quarterbacks out there that are available that are outright better than Baker.
yeah,
And then they have to come in and learn the system, you know what I mean, get used to throwing to certain guys and things like that. He already has that advantage. So I would say it's Baker. It's another year in the system, another year with those receivers and with that under that coaching staff. Give the man a shot, and I don't even like Baker, so
yeah.
it's his.
I actually do like Baker. I feel like him going high as he went didn't really make sense. He wasn't that good of a quarterback, but
Exactly.
I do think that he is a NFL starter if you have talent on the team and people for him to throw the ball to.
So
And
is Jared Goff.
so, yeah, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. Like I don't think Jared Goff's a bum, but
He also shouldn't have been number.
but yeah, exactly. Like number one pick. Like no, I watched him in college. He didn't look that good. Pause.
Decent.
Yeah, you straight. You straight. And so Baker should be the starter next year. Kyle Trask had an opportunity to beat him this year, and he didn't. And so, especially you've been on this team, and this is someone that just got to the team, and he beats you out the spot. So Baker should definitely be the starter going into next year. And man, KD was asked a question, was like, "Yeah, why ain't I be in the GOAT debate?" And it's this one of the ones where it's like, bruh, stop acting like you don't know why you're not in the GOAT debate. Because you brought up some of the reasons why. And those are exactly why. To paint the picture. Let's just paint the picture here. You were 3-1 against the Warriors. You lose in 7 games. I was the main one telling people the that the Thunder were gonna win. So when they were up 3-1, I was like, I told y'all Thunder were a better team. So yes, you had a better team. And then the next year, your team gets better because then you get Victor Oladipo and replace Dion Waiters. And instead of sticking with this team, you lead to go to the team you lost that you had down 3-1. It would be different if they came in and was like, all right, you lost 1 year where you weren't close. Then you got swept by this team. Then it's like, all right, I probably wouldn't look at it that bad as like, all right, him leaving, like you hit your peak on this team. But your peak was you should have already had a championship or at least been in another finals. And you left to go to the team that waxed y'all. And then on top of that, then you win 2 championships. Then you leave to go to Brooklyn for whatever reason. It doesn't work out. Me personally, if those guys are healthy, they win that chip. Can't do the whole if was a fifth, everybody be drunk. But I hate when people are like, oh, that didn't work before this whatever reason. It's like, no, that didn't work because they got hurt. And then the pandemic happened, and James Harden was looking it for regardless of what it was. James Harden asked for the trade. Now it could have was it the whole Kyrie not getting the vaccine thing, whatever it was. James Harden asked for that trade. They got up out of there. So then now you take Kevin, and now he wants to leave that team again. And it's like, bro, you keep jumping ship when things aren't going the way that you want it to go. And it's like when you look at the people that are in the GOAT conversation, their demeanor, their whole, it don't matter where we at. If I'm here, we gonna win. Regardless if you feel like LeBron has that demeanor, that is what he has showed everywhere he goes. They're at least in a conference final or a final or the finals everywhere he goes, especially since he's hit his peak. And so that's why for me, I'm like, KD, until you can, if you were able to take this team to a final, then I could see you being in the GOAT conversation. But just based off of skill set alone, like he's in the conversation of the best basketball players I've ever seen. But when you take into consideration everything else I talked about, I can't put you in that GOAT conversation. But being 7 foot, being able to, the way that he's able to dribble, the way he's able to shoot, 40, 50, 90 almost every year when healthy, the ability to take him and just plug him into any offense and it works. Yes, he's one of the greatest basketball players, but when it comes to the GOATs, he's just not it. Sucks to say, but sucks to suck.
Y'all heard what the man said.
So,
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's pretty much the same sentiment that I have. Let me ask you this: if you get an ice cream cone and you get the cherry on top, and you like cherries, that's one of the reasons you get the cherries on top. That's my favorite part. That's your favorite part, the cherry on top. You get the ice cream cone with the sundae with the cherry on top. That's your favorite part, right? Is the sundae with just the cherry? No, it's just the cherry, right?
Yeah.
And vice versa. So, but a sundae can still be a sundae without a cherry. You see what I'm saying? And I say that to say this: Golden State was Golden State before Kevin Durant got there. All Kevin Durant was the cherry on top. It was still a good, delicious sundae. They still made it to the finals. They were up 3-1. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? That was a good, delicious Sunday that everybody was enjoying. And then,
Fact.
you know what? We need a cherry on top. So they went and got the cherry on top, got the 2 championships, and Kevin Durant was like, well, how come I don't get credit for making the Sunday? Because you were the cherry on top. How do you get credit for making the Sunday when you were only the accessory? You see what I'm saying? It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the finishing touches hat to the outfit. Is the hat the outfit or does it complete the outfit? You see what I'm saying? It's just like, come
Yeah.
on, bro. Like don't act dumb here. Like, you know what I mean? You went along for a ride. It was an amazing ride. You happen to be a bus driver, but you didn't put the people on the bus and get them to each stop. And you know what I mean? You didn't do none of that. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got credit for what you did, and that's it. Now you want the same credit as people who built the bus, put the people on the bus, got them safely from stop to stop, which in this case would be a Michael Jordan, would be a
Right.
Kobe Bryant, would be a LeBron James, and you're just not in that elk, bro. You're not.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. If we're talking about just talents, then shit, we should talk about Melo being the greatest of all time. Because Melo plays, I mean, yeah, in spots, KD is better than him on defense. But I mean, offensively, shit, I could make an argument that Melo was right there as far as you know. What I mean, offensive wise, you see what I'm saying? So it's just like, what are we really talking about when it comes to KD? If we take those 2 championships and say that they're a wash, and take let's say we take 2 championships away from every quote unquote GOAT. Now what's the conversation?
Right. Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if we even the playing field, it's still not even a conversation to be even be had. So I feel like it's like he knows, we know, anybody who seriously watches basketball knows. It's just like, and it's. I feel like he's making this argument now because he sees his mortality when it comes to basketball. I'm not going to be able to add too much more to my legacy, so I'm going to whine and complain that you guys don't appreciate me enough. And
Right.
maybe he's right to a certain degree, but when it comes to the GOAT conversation, you need to sit this one out.
On God. Yeah, I do think that like we do need to appreciate what we're seeing and what we're able to do because I do think that he is the greatest weapon that we've ever seen. I just feel like the mentality that he should have had, if you take that and then put like the veracity of a Kobe or a Jordan, I don't think that we would be having a way different conversation. But I think his willingness to play like team basketball in certain spots when he was with the Thunder is what held them back. Because if there are certain moments where it's like, man, get up, Russ, cut that shit out, bro. Just give me the rock and get the fuck out the way.
Yeah, at the same, because I mean, we could say that on the outside looking in, but we don't know what type of conversation Russ had with KD. It was like, look, nigga, don't be all that. No, I don't want to hear none of that because I'm gonna light your ass up after me. So
but it's
it's just like,
but that's the thing though, is that if he had something in him
and we just gonna
of
have to fight.
of
You know what
these
I'm saying? We just gonna
yeah,
have to fight for the.
like like Mike and Kobe was like, nah, bro, fuck all that. I'm gonna have to see what the hands talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause give me the
I feel
fucking
that.
ball and get the fuck out the way, dog. Like
I feel that, bro. I feel
I
that.
don't care about none of that extra
Yeah,
shit.
hey, you're 4 for 12, bro. Give me the
Right.
ball.
Give me the ball. I got 40. I don't need you to try to score 40 with me. Get 20 assists because I got 40. And that's the thing for me is like if KD had that type of mentality and that type of heart, where we will be having a different conversation because his how smooth of a dribbler he is, how the way he shoots with the ball, off ball, post, mid, deep, free throw, it's been a sight to see, and so I do appreciate it. But at the same time, I feel like I got a really good meal, but like the seasoning is missing. And so We got to get up out of here, y'all. We appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you go and you follow all our socials on the bottom. Like I said, at Juke Sports Show on Instagram, the He Say She Say on Facebook, Juke Media on YouTube, and follow all of my socials from Threads, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch at KYNGRALPH, at an underscore for Twitter or X,